Hey y'all, good evening. I know it's late. Y'all know I do videos all late, but I wanted to, dang, my curls popping. I wanted to encourage you guys real quick. Last year, June 22nd, a memory popped up on Facebook when I cut my hair. And it brought me back to what I was going through prior to cutting my hair. I had been a part of a church for about 2 years, I think. And I had been in a relationship with he's my fiance now, but we were going through a little something. And during that time of transition or whatever was going on with me, I had a lot of stuff going on. I was, I told you guys I was suffering from depression. I had a lot going on. And I remember that day I went and met with my spiritual mom, Prophet Tammy Bradford, and we talked. And we talked about everything, nothing serious, and I decided I was going to cut my hair off. Now, leading up to this, I was becoming uncomfortable with my own hair. I was being challenged by the women around me. And I mean that in the way of it was me and not them, right? So I go to church with some really beautiful women. And I found myself getting so frustrated on Sundays trying to keep up with the look, and I didn't even realize it. It's not something that, I was realizing or anything like that. It was just something that was, either I wanted, braids, or I wanted something, and I couldn't figure out what to do with my hair. I felt uncomfortable. I felt uneasy. I felt ugly, and I'm not ugly, but I felt like it. It was just a lot, and I was trying to shake it off, and I felt like I looked like I was struggling. Every Sunday it was horrible. It was a horrible feeling. Sometimes I felt like I looked cute, I might have got my hair done or whatever, but for the most part it was a struggle. It was a struggle. An inner struggle. It was a battle, and it was a battle of self-acceptance and self-love that I had to walk through by myself, and so on July 22nd, I cut my hair off. And with that left every bit of insecurity, what folks thought, what my boyfriend thought, what friends thought, what their friends said, what friends wanted for me. I don't know, what was said when I was a little. I don't care. I cut my hair off. When I cut my hair off, it was more like a statement that I was redefining who I was. And I didn't know then, but I know now. I was giving myself permission to be free. I was giving myself permission to be free from other people's perspectives and other people's ideas and other people's opinions. I was giving myself permission to be free from what I thought about myself and what I wouldn't accept about me. I was giving myself permission to be Anjanette. And whatever that meant. If it meant that I took medicine, if it meant that I was, struggling with some things in my life, if it meant that, I was in love with the wrong person, whatever anybody could say or whatever. I wasn't, my kids and what they think, and, how I wasn't this and that, and I ain't perfect, and I ain't what I cracked up to be, and all of that. Whatever was said, whatever other people's thoughts were, whatever. I went through a transition of accepting and loving me. And I gave myself, with self-acceptance and loving myself, I gave myself an opportunity to be free and to walk in my own truth and my own authenticity. And not saying that I was fake any before, but there were things inside of me that I wasn't sure about, but I'm sure today. I'm sure that I don't need nobody. Christ and myself. That's it. Anybody that want to walk away, anybody that want to be stupid, anybody that don't, that I don't agree with me, anybody that don't want to be friends, lovers, cousins, mamas, daddies, daughters, sons, I don't care. I'm not saying that in a mean way. It's just that I can't care. I have too much that I almost let slip because I couldn't get there. And then, I have people in my life that love me, that see the greatness in me, and I can't see it in myself. That see the beauty in who I am, and that I can't see it in myself. So when you can't see it, then you allowing all kinds of hoopla to go on. And then people want to label you, which pisses me off. Oh, you got low self-esteem. Oh, you need to do something. No, I don't have low self-esteem. I didn't accept who I was. I had a self-worth issue. That's a different thing. And it makes me mad because people love to try to help you out as long as you ain't getting no better than them. And so I'm encouraging you today, that one that is still having issues with accepting who you are. And I'm not talking about being no preacher or nothing like that. I'm talking about who you are. The good, the bad, the ugly, because you know what you're doing? Now you accepting you the way the Lord accepts you. And now you're able to give yourself permission to even dig deeper and break down the walls that you have even built for yourself. To break down those walls and those barriers and dig deep. And listen, become an individual. Be who God made you to be, because, baby, he broke the mold. Because I know he broke the mold when he made me, baby. Let me tell you. He did. Yeah, I think he did. He gave me ample talents that I don't know what to do with. I was frustrated because I'm like, I don't know how you want me to do all of this. But I slowly start to see that once I accepted the greatness inside of me, and I said, okay, Lord, I can preach, I can sing, I can act, I can dance, I can praise dance, I can write, I can do all these things, I can counsel. I'm everybody's mama, but my own, my daughters, I ain't their mama, you know what I'm saying? My oldest, she getting better, but it is what it is. The minute a child walk out of my life, 2 come in, 18 come in. I know God is even creating this lane to be a mother for the kingdom. And he gave me this beautiful nurturing spirit that literally I had to grow into. I'm thinking, where would I get all this advice from? Why did I go through all this? I had to go through this because guess what? When the women that I have to talk to and the young women that I have to talk to, they have gone through the things that I've gone through. They're going to go through them or are in them, and I need to help them get out. I need to help them see, because see, only you can walk out your own life. It says that walking out your own salvation, that's what the Bible says, with fear and trembling. You know how you do that? You got to walk it out, and sometimes it causes you not to vent. Causes you not to talk to nobody. It causes you to be quiet. People think you acting funny. No, God is doing something in me that can't nobody take credit for, but can't nobody handle but you and him. And you never know. Like, I was wondering, like, what is going on? I was having wrecks and losing cars and all this stuff. But I know that God was saying, okay, now look at this. You got a money management issue. You won't manage your money. You make good money, but you won't manage your money. So then this is this. And, then not being responsible. Wanting to go out to eat versus doing other. It's all kinds of stuff. Just little things. And then once you get to a place where you can walk in your own light and in your own power and your own strength, and you can be exactly who God called you to be, then he can begin, because see, now the seed is planted and the tree is growing. So now God begins to prune the tree. Well, what is he pruning it for? For other stuff to grow. And so when we're going through the pruning process, I was like, I'm sick of the process. Like, trust the process. I'm sick of the process. I don't want processing. I'm done processing. I'm like puree by now. I ain't got no more processing to do. But sometimes there is always a blessing in the pruning. And so I'm a preacher and I'm long-winded. But I wanted to tell you, thank you for seeing my videos, for watching. But this is not a Lexapro video. This is about you. And this is about accepting you. And this is about doing the hard work of looking in the mirror and not talking down to yourself. Looking in the mirror and saying, God made a great work in me. And he's going to perform it. I don't know how this is all going to happen. Sometimes you got to shave your head. I cut my hair off. I don't want no more hair. I don't ever want to go through that struggle again. Ever. And I'm not, that's not to say that I'm not knocking nobody with no weaves. It wasn't even about a natural journey. It was about not struggling every Sunday to look and fit in. It was about, I've always walked in my own lane. Ever since I was in school, I was always my own person. But I started to feel like I had this thing, you know what I mean? And I was looking like I was struggling. And I did not like that feeling for me. Had nothing to do with whatever else was going on. But this, you know what I'm saying? For me. And so I encourage you today. Look in the mirror and get to a place. And how you get to that place is that it's not simple and easy. There's a breaking that has to happen in order for you to trust yourself, in order for you to accept the mistakes that you've made that hurt you, that hurt other people. And see, people gonna keep bringing up what you did and what you ain't did and what you didn't do and what you should have done. But that's all in the process. It is what it is. It is what it is. But as long as you can accept you, you don't need nothing. You don't need nothing else. You can love you. You don't need nothing else. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you the secret. When you accept you, something happens and you start creating boundaries for yourself. And you create expectations. And you expect the expectations. And you hold people accountable. You know why? Because you're no longer insecure in no area about you. You know your flaws, you know all of that, and that's great. But I still deserve, and you're still going to give me. I deserve this job. I deserve to make more money. I deserve this. Instead of saying, well, they gave me what I wanted, and that. I'm highly talented. I wouldn't have said that a year ago. But I'm very talented. I may not ever put it out there. I don't think that, but God will open doors and make opportunities for me. Because why? Because I accepted all of me and all of the wonderfulness and everything that he put deep down inside of me. And I told him, I'm going to rob the grave. If it ain't number one time or twice or whatever, I'm going to rob the grave, Lord, because you told me this is what you wanted me to do. You told me to start a YouTube channel. You told me to write books. You told me to be an inspirational speaker. You told me to preach the word of God. You told me to love people unconditionally. You told me to do that. So guess what? I'm going to do just that. I'm going to praise dance my way through it. I'm going to act my way through it. I'm going to sing my way through it. I'm going to write my way through it. I'm a Anjanette Speaks on YouTube on way through it. And I want you to love you. And whatever that takes. Whatever that takes. Whoever you got to cut off, cut them off. Whoever you got to let them go. As long as you have some peace in your life and you happy. And if one more person tell me that they want the best for me, I'm going to choke them. Because really, nobody knows what's best for you more than you. And I get that sometimes people love you so much that they feel like they know what's best for you, but they don't. Nobody knows what's best for you but you. And I encourage you, do what makes you happy. And what makes you happy may not make others happy for you, but you better make sure you happy and you smiling and you complete and you feel good about yourself. That's the only thing that matters. I love you and God loves you. And who are you that if God can accept you, that you don't accept yourself? Don't you think that that's a little arrogant for you to decide that you're not going to accept you when God accepts you? He made you in his image and in his likeness. Be great, baby. Give yourself permission to be free. Give yourself permission to be free of other people's thoughts and perspectives. and even the negative thoughts that you have against yourself. Give yourself a chance to be free from your past. Give yourself a chance to be free from every mess up and mistake. Give yourself a chance to be great. I love you, and God does too.